Alrighty guys, so what they've asked us to do is to review with you kind of what we've already done this school year. So this actually kind of falls at a good time. So right now is about the time that if you guys were in school with me, we would start planting seeds for the summer. So things like tomatoes, squash, cucumbers, those types of things. So what I have with me today is our Sweet Million tomato seeds, and there's roughly 30 of them in there. You guys know how well I do accounting, so I'm sure there's more. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to demonstrate for you guys how we're going to sexually reproduce our seedlings, how we're going to create plants from seeds. So first thing we need to do is take our pot and we need to fill it with our germination mix. So I'm going to do that. We're going to fill it up to the top. We'll get a little of the excess off. All right, now this is a germination mix. Remember, germination mix is nice because it's a little bit of a finer soil, meaning that it's got those smaller particles in it. And we're going to need to water this thing quite a bit. Let it pee out the bottom. We're gonna do our tapping just like I do with you guys. Water it again. We need this soil to be nice and moist. If you guys remember, you know, the things that make a seed want to germinate, make that seed want to produce a plant, the things that are important is that we have, first, you know, soil, and then that we have a nice warm area, so everything will go back onto the heat mat. And then these seedlings are actually, they need to germinate in the dark, which means that we're gonna need to put that extra layer of soil on it. And remember, the way that seeds will germinate is that, you know, once we get them planted in here today, we want to keep them super wet because it's going to be that absorption of water through their seed coat that's going to want to make them rupture, to make them break that seed and start pushing that plant out. So eventually we'll have our lovely Sweet Million tomatoes. You all know this takes forever and a half to water, so be patient. Getting there. Nice and muddy. So if you guys are at home and mom, dad, grandma, aunt, and uncle, whoever you have the privilege to live with, if they've been talking about wanting to start a garden, at this point you don't want to put any plants or any seedlings outside. It's too early and it's too cold. But you guys can start planting seeds inside of your house and putting them in a windowsill and taking care of them that way. Just, you know, as long as you have an interior place that is going to keep them safe from the wind, you know, the still cold temperatures that we're still getting. It would be okay to start seedlings inside the house now. You know, things you would need is some kind of a pot, some soil. It doesn't have to be germination mix. It could be another type of soil. And then, of course, your seeds. And then a nice warm area for them. All right, so our soil is kind of nice and wet at this point. Might not look it, but it feels it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take these seeds and I'm going to sprinkle them throughout this pot. I don't want to just put them all in one place because then they're just going to grow in one blob, which is going to make transplanting a real pain in the butt at a later date. And since it says that they germinate in the dark, we need to put that layer of soil over top. Look, there's one of your lovely tomatoes trying to grow in the rocks. So I take this soil, I put it over top of our tomato seedlings. I'm going to get a little bit more. You don't want to put too much soil because that's just more soil they have to fight through to pop up, but enough to cover them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the mist nozzle and I'm going to mist the seedlings. Remember, you want to go high Let it puddle up a little bit. Go high again. Want to be careful not to push those seeds too far out the pot. We don't want them growing in the rocks like that other one. You want to make sure this pot is heavy in weight overall. And then we're going to add it over here to the heat mat. And then of course I'll label this Sweet Million Tomatoes so I don't forget. So in all guys, that's what your sexual reproduction looks like. You know, it's the planting of those seeds, which is going to cause that seed coat to rupture and eventually produce a seedling so that we can transplant it like all the rest of our vegetables. All right guys, I'll talk to you later.